It's like they were cranking goats like their lives depended on it. Ending this era with the fastest sequel ever made, Left 4 Dead 2, released exactly 1 year after the first. It was this time that Valve was unstoppable. Each major game release was considered the best at their respective genres even today. Valve was king. Many have fond memories of this time, and it is this era of history that fans point out as the golden age of Valve. It wouldn't stay that way though. Changes were coming. The most distinct era, as Valve's operations and business practices massively shifted during this time, for better and for worse. And it was all defined by two games, Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Dota 2. They essentially dictated Valve for the next 10 years. But first, a reflection on the past Valve titles and how they were doing at this time. A swan song for Valve's classic single-player games, Portal 2 was released in April of 2011, and just like everything else they made at the time, it was groundbreaking.
I think we can put our differences behind us. For science. You monster.
In terms of user reviews, Portal 2 is the highest rated Valve game on Steam, and that's a lot given that most Valve games score insanely high on average. However, it'll be a while before they release another single-player game at this point. Counter-Strike Source, while very popular, was disliked by a good chunk of its player base, especially high-level players and pros, with them preferring the original. There was a noticeable divide in the Counter-Strike community. Left 4 Dead 2 got its last official DLC in October of 2010, with another fan-made DLC released in 2012 that was endorsed by Valve. Team Fortress 2 still got regular updates at the time, albeit with less frequency, but it got to the point where the last major update was in 2017. Episode 3 for Half-Life 2 was basically dead in the water at this point, as Valve has gone completely radio silent in all things involving Half-Life.
Tell us anything about when we'll see episode 3?
I'm not saying anything about episode 3 or...
Half-Life is headed.
I got nothing to say about Half-Life.
I will now ask you the world's shortest question ever, Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Thank you.
Fans assumed that maybe they weren't going to do an episode anymore and just do a full-on sequel, but all we got from Valve was deafening silence.
After 9 years in development, hopefully it will have been worth the wait.
There wouldn't be a true single-player game that Valve would make until much later. However, things were heating up in the offices of Valve in regards to their two new poster boys.